I've owned this 2015 Chevy Silverado for about a year and a half now. When I bought the truck, it had about 20,000 miles on it, and since I bought it, I put about 16,000 miles on it, so I'm at about 36,000 miles. When I was looking for trucks, I thought this truck would perfectly suit my needs. You know, I was going from a 2005 Ford F-150 regular cab, so tight cab, had a smaller motor, 4.6 liter V8, and I was stepping up to this Chevy crew cab, which cab is, you know, it's kind of small for a crew cab, but nevertheless, it had the back seats, and it also had a larger motor, 5.3 liter V8, you know, four-wheel drive. I thought this would suit my needs perfectly, not to mention that it has a 9,400 pound tow capacity. So I thought it was a good decision, but overall, I'm not happy with this truck. I'm not happy with the way it tows. Maybe I got a lemon, maybe it's a dud of a truck, but I'm kind of done with Chevy and GMC for a while, and just think eventually I'm going to go back to Ford, which that is in the works. But regardless, in this video I'm going to go over my list of 5 things that I really love about this truck and 5 things that I absolutely hate about this truck. So let's get started. You know, it's kind of funny, when I was coming up with this list, it was so easy to come up with things I hate about this truck. It was kind of difficult to come up with things that I actually liked about the truck. But I did find 5 things that I do like about the truck, so we'll start with the positives. So the first thing on the list, I love these rear bumper steps. I was kind of skeptical of these at first, but when I was growing up, my dad had Dodge trucks, and whenever I wanted to get in the bed of the truck, I always had to step on the tire or the rear bumper, which the rear bumper sat kind of high, so I always stepped on the tire, and I've always been used to getting into trucks that way. But let me tell you, this bumper step right here, this is actually a really nice feature, and it does make it a lot easier to quickly get in and out of the truck. Now yes, on Ford Super Duties, they do have those steps that come out of the tailgate, and they have that little handle, which I have nothing bad to say about that, but this is just quick and easy. Here's the second thing I like about this truck. This truck is an LT trim level, which from my understanding that would compare to a Ford XLT, and this being an LT model, it is actually equipped decently. You know, you have power locks, power windows, power mirrors. The thing I love about this truck, it has heated seats for the driver as well as the passenger, and you have a 7-inch monitor right here. Not too bad for an LT. Third thing I like about this truck is the ride is actually very smooth for a half-ton truck. It almost rides like a car. Just a little bit stiffer, but very comfortable ride. Item number 4 on the pros list is it's a nice looking truck. Between the black, the chrome grille, chrome around the headlights, chrome bumper. Those are aftermarket tow mirrors, but the black and chrome I think looks really nice. Black, by the way, is very hard to keep clean, so keep that in mind, but look at the body stamping. The way they stamped out these panels, the stamping on the hood, I think it looks pretty darn nice. And also, again, we're talking about an LT model truck, and I like the rims. It has a pretty darn nice set of rims on it. Fifth and final item on the pros list, the 4-wheel drive system on this truck has been solid. And when I say solid, don't get that mixed up by a locking rear diff, because this truck does not have a manually controlled locking rear diff. I'm pretty sure that the rear diff will lock electronically. I'm not 100% sure on that, but anyway, what I'm getting at is that I've used the 4-wheel drive on this truck multiple times, and it's gotten me out of some jams, and it's worked flawlessly. I was always skeptical because it does have an electronic control dial for the 4-wheel drive, because I'm used to the, you know, on the floor manual shift column for the 4-wheel drive system on my old Ford, but the electronic shift system on this truck has operated flawlessly. Now, let's get into the good stuff. 5 things that I absolutely hate about this truck. Alright, first things first. It tows like garbage. And that's the thing that drives me nuts. It really, really, really tows like absolute garbage. Because, you know, if I start cursing, then YouTube's going to demonetize me, so it tows like garbage. My 05 F-150 had a 4.6 liter V8. Granted, it was highly illegal. I used to tow a dump trailer with a Kubota B26 tractor in the back, and that truck towed like you wouldn't believe for a half-ton. This truck right here, with my empty dump trailer at 3,500 pounds, garbage. What happens is when I'm going up and down, or well, really when I'm going up some hills and I'm accelerating kind of hard, I can feel a vibration on the accelerator, almost like there's a problem in the valve body or something slipping, perhaps the torque converter. I think the transmission in this truck is absolute junk. I know Chevy has had some problems with their 10-speed transmissions, but this is a 6-speed transmission, and I thought that there'd be no problems with it. I don't know. Again, maybe I got a lemon, but this just puts such a bad taste in my mouth. I have brought this truck back to Chevy for this exact issue twice. And I've also contacted Chevy directly and not gone through a dealership. And both times that I've gone to the dealership, they told me, well, there's nothing in the computer that says anything's wrong. They did reset the shift adaptations, which that really didn't do anything, but they said that there's nothing wrong with the truck. It drives me nuts. I'm not a happy Chevy customer, you know? If I took one of these service guys and I brought them in the truck with me when I was towing this trailer empty and going up a hill, and they could feel this, maybe then they would see that there's a problem with the truck. But I miss Ford. I really do. Towing sucks on this truck. Here's something that really drives me nuts about these automatic windows. Now, mind you, I am coming from crank windows, so this is definitely a step up. But what I hate about these window controls is for the 4 windows, the 2 up front and the 2 in the rear, if I push these window controls down all the way, which I got to turn the key on, I'll do that in a second, you'll see that these windows go down all the way automatically. However, if I want to bring these windows up, if I pull this window control button or lever up all the way, it'll only come up automatically on the driver's window. Like, what sense does that make? You have all these controls automatically send all the windows down, but the only one that'll come up all the way automatically is the driver's window, and the rest of them you gotta have your fingers on the controls and bring them up that way. So again, did you just hear that? That's another thing. This truck like makes weird sounds sometimes when you put the key in. That was a vibration. The radio is still booting up right now. Like, what's going on with the electronics in this thing? Alright, so look at this. I push that button, that lowers down the driver's window, and you'll see, push the passenger window goes down too. Now, if I try to bring up the passenger window, hopefully you can see this, which I think you can. Alright, I'm gonna pull up on this lever once, and it does not go up automatically. You need to hold that lever up in order for that window to come up. But on the driver's side, it goes up automatically. How stupid is that? Next item really should be number 2 on the list of things that I hate most about that truck, and that would have to be these rear seat headrests. And I don't know, I really feel like this is a pretty major safety issue. Apparently the National Highway Safety Association, or whoever approves these trucks and certifies that they're safe, thinks that this is okay, but me being a volunteer firefighter and seeing some nasty accidents, this really is not okay. So the issue I have with these headrests is this is as high as the headrest go. If you have kids back here and they're short and small, you may be okay, but if you have any full-size adults back here, or larger kids, tall kids, look at where my head is. Look how high it is above that headrest back there. Did you hear that? That was my head hitting the glass. Now, what happens when somebody rear ends you really hard? Well, objects in rest tend to stay in rest. So, when somebody hits the truck, that's going to want to push the truck forward because there's a force acting on the truck, but your body is going to want to stay still. So what happens, your head is going to come back like this, and you're going to nail your head on the rear window. I don't know if that's laminated glass, but I don't really want to find out. You could potentially be decapitated from this. Like, these don't even stay in place, you know, they don't lock in, and I feel really bad for the full-size person that's back here when this truck gets in an accident and wails their head on the rear window. Major, major safety issue in my opinion. While I'm in the back of the truck, let's go on to item number 4 that I hate about this truck, and that is that there is minimal cab room in the rear cabin area of the cab. That's a tongue twister, huh? But this is considered a crew cab in Chevy standards. In Ford standards, this would be considered an extended cab. So I had the driver's side, or well, the driver's seat positioned in the normal position that I'd have it in when I'm driving this truck, you know, every day. And me sitting back here right now, besides this terrible headrest design, my knees are hitting the back of this seat, so it is very tight. You know, compared to the Ford crew cabs now, I mean, even on the F-150s, you got plenty of leg room in the back. So for crew cab standards, the rear of this cab is very small. But again, it is a step up from a regular cab. Item number 5 that I hate about this truck is the lack of options when it comes to aftermarket accessories. Now, I like to customize things that I own. I like to add a touch of my personality to them. Like I'm sure some of you guys that have been around the channel for a long time will remember my 05 F-150. I talk about it so much in this video, isn't it crazy? But with my 05 F-150, it was so easy to do all types of modifications. Like the aftermarket radio, it was a snap. It was easy to pop it in. Like with, I will say, it's not just with Chevy, but it is with a lot of the, you know, the newer trucks, especially the ones with screens up there. Like if I wanted to add an aftermarket stereo to this truck, I scoped it out a little bit. I would have to completely replace that 7-inch monitor, and I would have had to buy this whole column that would fit in there, and that alone would cost like probably $1,200, and then you got to buy the amplifier, and then you got to buy, you know, whatever speakers you want. So, you know, if you want to do aftermarket stereo systems and stuff like that, you're going to be paying a lot. But again, you know, that's not just with Chevy, that is with a lot of the modern trucks, from my understanding. I'm not 100% sure, but that's definitely how it is with Chevy. Also, let me move the camera down to the headlights. On my F-150, I had projector style headlights, which they are the little eyeball, and you put HID bulbs in there, and that is the legal way to install HID bulbs. If you put HID bulbs in a standard headlight housing like this, you're going to blind people down the road. You are an a-hole. Do not do it. But my old F-150 had the proper projector style headlight fixtures, and I had HID bulbs in there, and the visibility was incredible. I will definitely be selling this truck when I save up enough money to replace it, but back when I was thinking about keeping this truck, one thing that I really wanted to do, because I get called into work at night so much, is replace these headlights with proper projector headlights. And you can buy aftermarket headlights for these trucks, and the price ranges from, you know, $300 to you could pay up to $1,500. That's not the issue. The issue I have is I've looked at all of these aftermarket headlights, and the problem with them is that in order to adjust the beam of the headlights, you have to take the whole headlight housing out to access an adjustment screw that's down in the back of these headlights. So, I mean, that to me, that's absolutely nuts. That if I want to adjust the beam of my headlights, I gotta take the whole headlight housing out. Like, come on. Like, the aftermarket headlights I had on my F-150, there was an easy adjustment screw up top. I think it was like an 8mm. So if I found that my headlights were out of adjustment, I kept a little wrench in the door panel right there, and, you know, just at night on the road, I could properly adjust to where I thought the headlights should be placed. Now, there are proper ways to set the headlights, but, you know, I'm a smart guy. I know when my headlights are blinding people, and I had them adjusted properly. But, you know, aftermarket accessories on these trucks, difficult to install, and they're not user-friendly. Really stinks. So anyway, that concludes this video of 5 things I like about this truck and 5 things that I absolutely despise about this truck. Thanks for watching, and share your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Catch you on the next one.